Is there something that we're missing in Montana with these recurring die-offs in our bighorn population? My name's Craig Fager, F-A-G-E-R, and I'm the Dillon area wildlife biologist. I'm a management biologist. The struggle here has been ongoing pneumonia issues since 1993. Our Helena office, in consultation with the Wild Sheep Foundation, asked the question, is there a population where we could try something different, i.e. take everything out and start over again. We asked everybody going into this thing to recognize what this hunt is and isn't. This is not a straight harvest opportunity. There's going to be a lot of people in that 311 hunters that are going without a sheep. That's the nature. Beyond that, they're the tool that will ultimately lead towards sheep being reintroduced on the landscape and hopefully occupying that as a healthy herd. That's our ultimate objective, and that's my answer. Is it's all about restoration.
I've heard a lot of people say, you go on one sheep hunt and that's going to be in your blood forever, and it gets in your blood whether you kill a sheep or not. I think it's always a unique opportunity when you're asked to go on any sort of sheep hunt, but an archery sheep hunt, with a group of guys that aren't afraid to push themselves, and this is country that if you're going to be successful, then you've got to push pretty hard.
We've tried in the TENDOYS 3 different times to augment this population. None of those augmentations fared well. After the initial transplant in the mid-80s, they did well up until 1993, and it's been a struggle ever since for 22 years. Our target is 150, and we're going to hold it there through hunting of all sexes and age classes. We definitely have detractors, people that think we have no business doing this, and there's a lot more that could be learned from leaving these sheep on the ground. But as we look at the situation, we also have to analyze the risk of contact with domestic sheep and goats, and the fact that there's a lot of other wildlife out there, a lot of range competition. All these landscapes in southwest Montana is lacking is disturbance. Conifers through 100 and maybe 20 years of fire suppression have rapidly overtaken a lot of habitat, particularly for species like sheep.
Well, I grew up about 15 miles north of Sheridan, Wyoming, just across the border into Montana. The outdoors was my backyard. 30,000 acres to just roam around as a kid, and I can remember a Volkswagen Jetta getting abused pretty bad, a few white-tailed deer in the trunk before school. Actually went to college on a rodeo scholarship. Joined the Guard, the Wyoming Army National Guard, when I was 17. And we were deployed to Iraq in 2004. Flew into Kuwait in May, hit Baghdad about a week later. When I got home, I just kind of fell back into my old archery habits, I guess. Didn't really have a desire to be around firearms that much for a while. It just felt good to get away from everything and just step back into the forest and have that stick and string, Shoot that ram. Sounded good. That's awesome. You know, you're in sheep country when things are burning and you're gasping for air and short on water, and I mean, all those factor in, but it's well worth it. I mean, regardless of whether you end up harvesting a ram or not. I mean, just to be up here and be with good friends and in good company and seeing things that most people don't see their whole life. And then you go ahead and throw the frosting on there and have a ram down. Doesn't get much better. No.
Yeah, this is the first time anything like this has been tried in Montana. The goal is to get every sheep, and it's all about restoration. We're going to come in behind with healthy sheep. The Wild Sheep Foundation is very supportive of this effort. They're also working on things behind the scenes here, perhaps with some GPS radio collars when we bring sheep back onto the scene, so we can analyze both habitat use and the risk factors that are present on the landscape to these sheep. The goal is get healthy sheep on the ground, and from there through trying to manage their density, producing healthy lambs, a vibrant population that's available for hunting and viewing. This is restoration.
The situation in the TENDOYS is not unique. There's about 5 other areas throughout the West. In Oregon, Washington, Utah, Nevada. The challenge that wild sheep face, bighorn sheep in the lower 48 in particular, is contact with domestic sheep and goat. They're somewhat immune to them, but wild sheep and bighorn sheep are naive.
If all we do is just focus on wild sheep and we don't understand what's going on with domestic sheep, we aren't understanding it. And so, just recently on March 24th, the Wild Sheep Foundation and the Montana chapter of the Wild Sheep Foundation met with the wool growers and a member of the Board of Livestock and some of the producers. We agreed it's time to figure out a way to move forward together. We have to collaborate on research.
Some really exciting research is being done with a collaboration between Washington State University and Idaho State University. Currently there are, it's a flock of domestic sheep at Idaho State University. They've got 20 MOV-free domestic sheep and 20 MOV-positive domestic sheep. It looks like we can actually breed to a certain degree, a disease-free domestic sheep that's MOV, or Mycoplasma ovopneumonia, free. If that's the case, that can be a solution for some of these smaller flocks, where we actually work with a private landowner or a small hobby flock producer, help them raise disease-free or MOV-free domestic sheep.
We see the producers as partners, the sportsmen as partners, the conservation community as partners, and I think we're in a place where we can help bring all those interests together to do something a little different.
We have been working with Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, our Montana chapter of Wild Sheep Foundation, and fund programs like a restocking and repatriation of bighorns into the Tendoys. To move some sheep that have a very robust and potentially, quite frankly, maybe too many sheep in a particular locale, to do a trap and then transplant them to another location and try to repatriate a herd and have them imprint in a new area. It's labor intensive, a lot of volunteers working with Montana State University, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. There's Forest Service folks there, often BLM, so it's an interagency, inter-NGO program. Then releasing that, and I tell you, it brings tears to your eyes. It's just hands-on conservation, it's hands-on wildlife action, and it's what Wild Sheep Foundation is all about.
If we're going to do something, we need to learn. And if it's successful, great. If it's not, we still need to learn and advance the science and advance our ability to restore species. We're looking at ways to make sure whatever happens is successful.